If you've been thinking about moving to San Antonio, Texas, and are wondering what it's really like to live here, we're going to get into the top 5 pros and cons of living here in San Antonio, Texas, and we're going to get into it right now. Hey there, it's Denise Ross with Keller Williams City View Realty here in San Antonio, Texas. If you've been thinking about making the move here to San Antonio and South Texas, we've got your back. Contact information is in the description box below. Now let's get into the top 5 pros and cons of living here in the Alamo City. The number one thing about living here in San Antonio is all the things to do in San Antonio and the surrounding area. There are so many fun things to do. You won't have a shortage of leisure activities or entertainment, educational activities, things to do to keep you and your family busy on the weekends or whenever you'd like. Of course, we have the Alamo, which is a great, important part of Texas history, as well as the Riverwalk in downtown San Antonio, SeaWorld of San Antonio, and Fiesta Texas amusement park if you love roller coasters. There's also a couple water parks. Speaking of water, we have a lot of lakes and rivers nearby, so if you're into kayaking, canoeing, boating, water skiing, any type of water sports, even tubing, those are a lot nearby places to do those activities. It is about a 2-hour drive to the Texas coast, down in Corpus, Port Aransas, Texas, Rockport. So really easy day trip if you're into coastal fishing or just need to feel some sand in between your toes. If you'd like to make that a day trip or weekend getaway, it's just a really easy drive down there. In addition, there's a lot of state and local parks around that have a lot of great hiking, biking, lots of trails, all those things. If you're into golfing, there's a lot of golf courses nearby. You can even live on a golf course. There's public and private golf courses, and we have great weather for golfing, which we'll get into here in just a little bit and talk about the weather. In addition, we have a lot of great shopping, both indoor and outdoor malls, and some great foodie places as well. So, and lots of museums. There's some historical museums, art museums, and even a really fabulous children's museum, which is very interactive and very hands-on, called the Dooseum. There's also the San Antonio Zoo, the Botanical Garden as well. So many things to do here in the San Antonio area. Next up, we're going to get into the number one con of living here in San Antonio, and that absolutely has to be allergies. A lot of people that move here to San Antonio who have never suffered with allergies before all of a sudden get struck with cedar fever. Cedar trees are they pollinate in the winter, usually starting sometime late November, December, and that can go into February. So throughout the winter, and sometimes you'll just see these trees, they're evergreen trees, but they will just be coated with like a yellow film of the pollen, and sometimes it even creates a haze in the air. But anyway, so many people get cedar fever where they're sneezing, coughing, headache. They even have the special drops that they sell over the counter that are aimed to help with cedar fever. So just a heads up, if you're allergic to cedar, or you might not know that you're allergic to cedar, that might be a factor for you if you move here to San Antonio. Pro number 2 is definitely the weather here in San Antonio and South Texas. We have very, very mild winters. It is so nice. So many days of the winter are just so mild and pleasant and sunny and nice. Like I mentioned earlier, lots of beautiful days for golfing and just being outdoors. The average temperature in the winter is 55 to 60 degrees. That's the high. And usually we have less than 20 days a year that are below freezing. And very rarely does it ever snow and ice here in San Antonio, so you don't have to worry so much about needing to scrape your windshield or shovel your driveway or any of that stuff, because if it does snow or ice here, nobody's going anywhere. Everybody stays home. Everything pretty much shuts down. In the spring and fall, we have beautiful weather here as well for the most part. A lot of times you'll need to dress in layers because we have cooler weather in the morning, warmer in the afternoons, and then cooler again in the evenings. But lots and lots of beautiful days here. And we rarely get any severe weather here in San Antonio. We're really too far from the coast to get any impact from any major hurricanes other than maybe some rain, which usually we're thankful for the rain when we get it. And we don't usually get very many tornadoes or weather like that here, not like you do in the Midwest or even in northern Texas either. So just overall great weather here in San Antonio with mild winters and beautiful falls and springs, and not really a lot of extreme weather either. Con number 2 is also the weather. It is very hot and humid here in the summer, so if you do not like being hot, then San Antonio may not be the place for you to live. We have a lot of days over 100 degrees, but usually we are inside enjoying the air conditioning. That is a great time to go to the movies, just go swimming, go do all those water sports that I talked about earlier. So those are great days to do that. We have on average 111 days that are over 90 degrees. So just to give you a fair perspective, we do have a lot of really great weather, but some really hot weather also. Pro number 3 is definitely the people. The people here in San Antonio and the surrounding area are very genuine, friendly, authentic. What you see is what you get, not pretentious people. For as big of a city as San Antonio is, I think we're now the 7th largest city in the United States. It very much has a community feel, community atmosphere, and a small town vibe. So people are just very genuine, very accepting, and very welcoming here. And it is a very diverse community. I think part of that is because of the large population of military and large amount of tourism that we have here. So I think both of those factors contribute to the welcoming, genuine, and diverse atmosphere that we have here in San Antonio. Con number 3 is definitely the traffic here in San Antonio. San Antonio has grown very fast over the past 10-15 years, and the infrastructure has not necessarily kept up as far as the roads go. Now, I'm not talking about the kind of traffic that you see in LA or Houston or even Dallas or Austin, but we do have our fair share of traffic. San Antonio is very spread out, is over a very wide area, so that sometimes makes it hard to get from one place to the other. And we just now are starting to see some HOV lanes built to help alleviate traffic that way. So rush hour here in the evenings is going to start probably around 4:30 and finish up around 7:30. In the morning, your rush hour is probably going to be until about 8:30. So not too bad. And like I said, it's definitely not like some other major cities, but we definitely, if you ask anybody that lives here, they're going to tell you that traffic is a con of living here in San Antonio. Pro number 4 is the economy. The economy here in San Antonio and the surrounding area of South Texas is one of the strongest of all major cities in the United States. There's a consistently low unemployment rate. The military is a huge contributor to the economy here, with a lot of military bases around, a lot of military training that goes on here. In addition, the medical industry is a huge contributor to the economy as well, with the South Texas Medical Center here. San Antonio also has the 2nd largest hubs of cybersecurity in all of the United States. There's also a lot of manufacturing here with the Toyota plant, and banking and insurance hubs here as well, with the USAA being headquartered here. Con number 4 is going to be the low wages and salaries here in the San Antonio and surrounding area. On average, the wages and salaries are about 10% lower than the national average. I think one of the contributing factors to that is tourism is such a high percentage of the economy here. We have about 37 million visitors annually to San Antonio, and historically, most of the jobs associated with tourism are low-paying jobs. So I think that contributes to the reason that statistic is lower. Pro number 5 is the cost of living. The cost of living in San Antonio is very affordable. It is lower than other cities in Texas and lower than other cities in the United States. In fact, about 14% lower than the national average. In addition to the low cost of living, we also have no state income tax. So that makes San Antonio and Texas even more affordable. Con number 5 is property taxes. Texas in general has very high property taxes compared to some other states. Because we have no state income tax, that is one of the reasons why our property taxes are a little bit higher. Property taxes on average are about 2% of your property value. So you can see property tax bills when they come in range anywhere from the couple $1,000s up to tens of thousands of dollars depending upon your property value. So there are ways that property taxes are a little bit lower if you don't live in the city of San Antonio, depending upon what school district you live in, if you're a senior citizen, so on. But property taxes is definitely a con to living here in most of Texas, not just in San Antonio. If you still have questions about moving to San Antonio, about what it's really like to eat, sleep, work, live, and play here in San Antonio, post in the comments below, or better yet, reach out. Send me a text, call, email. We'd love to hear from you. We love getting calls from folks just like you each and every day who are relocating here to San Antonio, and we will help you make your move go as smoothly and stress-free as possible. If you liked this video, you will want to watch this one next. Thanks for watching.